Hi, Mark here with My Engineering. For today's video, I'm going to be doing part one of a two-part series introducing to you FlangeVision. So FlangeVision is an in-house software that we've developed in order to do rapid flatness checks on flange faces. So a little bit of background on flange face inspections. Typically what is done if you're doing it mechanically is you'll have an ID mounted apparatus that has a rotation. You'll have a dial indicator that runs along the contact face on the raised face of the flange. And you'll have a pen and paper. You write down the indications at each of your clock points or cardinal points, depending on how large the flange is. It can be very time consuming to get that piece centered so that you have a nice flat surface to work on. Can sometimes take up to an hour, hour and a half, depending on the size of the flange. Sometimes this piece can be very heavy, so you actually need some kind of a lifting aid or multiple people in order to install it. When you're doing this with a laser scanner, all you need is to rapidly scan the face and you can export that file, bring it into the software, get your report rapidly, and move on. So for this video demonstration, I'm going to simulate what you would have to do if you were in the field. So for this case, we're going to have our flange up on a scaffold deck. Let's just say, what do we need to actually get going? We need our laptop. We need to bring our scanner. So we're going to be using the Scantech SimScan 42 for this. And then you'll just need to have some markers on the flange itself. This one already has some stickers applied. Typically, if you're doing it in the field, you don't need to apply stickers. They're kind of hard. A lot of times you have to wear gloves. That's not the most productive use of your time. So we've developed a few different options, one of them being a little magnetic plate with a large handle. You can operate, you can move this on and off. You don't have to actually touch the dots with gloves on. You also have other little aids. You have these little magnetic dice that you can stick on the flange. So as long as it's carbon steel, you'll be able to use some kind of a magnetic attachment. If it's not ferrous or carbon steel, you can't use a magnet. There's other options we have. But for today's demonstration, I'm just going to use this flange. It already has some stickers on it. Okay, so we're going to pretend that we're just about ready to go. I am not going to have anything unpacked. You're going to see this entire workflow, so it's going to include actually setting up the scanner and plugging it in, scanning the flange, saving it, and getting it ready to, once it's saved, it's ready to go over to FlangeVision, which will be the next video. So there is going to be a couple of little cuts here, just so that I can switch between the camera views. Other than that, it's going to be all real time. You're going to see this. So instead of being a hour to hour and a half inspection, this is going to take just a couple of minutes. All right, so we're going to open up our case for our SimScan. We can pull out our actual scanner here. So if you're not familiar with this scanner, it's a fantastic little unit, handheld, incredibly fast. The SimScan 42 is a wired unit. It is able to scan at 2.8 million points per second, which is well in excess of what you guys are going to need for doing flanges. There is a newer version of this scanner available called the SimScan E. It is able to scan at 6.3 million points per second, and it is now wireless. So you can do away with the tether that between yourself and the laptop. So we're just going to plug our scanner in here. And the scanner is now ready to go. So I'm going to switch the camera here. Okay, so what you're looking at now is called Def Insight. It is the native software for this scanner. And all we have to do in order to scan, it's a two-step process. So number one, is we need to scan the dots on the marker dots on the flange itself. So it maps those out, and then we switch over to laser scanning mode. And now you have the entire flange face captured. We hold our mode button, and the scan is complete. What I'm going to do here now is on our object tree in the bottom left of your screen, we could look at our scan. So we want to select that. I'm going to go up to the top, hit our save laser file. We're going to call this flange. We'll give it the fake PNID. So we'll call it ME for My Engineering 001. Save. So that laser point file now is saved. That's ready to go directly into our FlangeVision software for inspection. But I'm going to take this one step further. We've set up everything. We've done this in just under a minute of actually scanning. So we have 2 more flanges on this same little scaffold deck that we want to do to actually inspect, rather than taking our ID mounted little dial indicator unit out and mounting it in the next one, spending another hour. I'm just going to add a scan. Same process, we need to scan our little markers. Change modes. Finish scan number 2. Once that's done processing, now we have our scan number 2 in our bottom left object tree. Go save, laser file, flange ME002, save. And just for fun, we're going to do a third one. Scanning it in. Switch it to laser mode. And we'll finish our scan. And just for reference, this last scan here, that is 63,000 laser points it captured in that couple of seconds span. It is getting a lot of data very quickly, but it's also getting very accurate. So the accuracy of each of those laser points is going to be approximately 0.02 millimeters, which is about 0.8 of a thou. So as you just watched, it only took a few minutes to arrive at our location, unpack our equipment, get it all set up, and inspect 3 different flanges. Now we have a record of these flanges the way they were today, preserved digitally. The next step is going to be importing this into our FlangeVision software to generate the report, and that'll be in our next video. Thank you for watching part 1 of this video. If you'd like to know more about how FlangeVision can work for you, you can contact us support@myeng.ca.